There was a BBC reporter that's sitting down with, I believe he's the ambassador, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? Iran's ambassador to UK, Saeed Ali Mousavi, about protesters being killed by the Iranian government. Look at the way he answers. This we know, that Iran, unlike any other country, is willing to kill their own people. And not by one or two or three, by the thousands. Now, whether the number is 5,000 or 100,000, they're doing that to themselves. Watch this interview with BBC, Rob. Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
Your country is under attack, but your people have also been under attack. Since we last spoke, your government has killed thousands of its own people in the streets who had the courage to stand up to protest against the suffering that they have been experiencing at the hands of the regime. Thousands of people were killed. How on earth do you justify that, Ambassador?
The Iranian side has their own problems due to the economic sanctions against us. And the Iranian people, unfortunately, has their own problems, in this matter. But I do believe, yes, now our people are in a very painful and sensitive period of time, but they are supporting the government against the foreign invader, foreign aggressors.
To say,
you see, if you go to the inside of Iran, you can see one solidarity, one unity among the people.
Ambassador, we would love to be able to report independently from inside Iran to see what is really going on.
Why not?
But we have seen much of what has gone on. Just this morning, I looked at many of the images and watched some of the videos from what happened to protesters in your country in January. I looked at images and videos verified independently by our colleagues at BBC Verify that show body bags littered over the courtyard of a mortuary, the Karizak Forensic Medical Center in Iran.
This we know about Iran. They killed their own people. I saw
images of young, old, teenagers, people killed by your government, beaten faces, bloodied bodies, gunshot wounds. How on earth do you justify that and sit there today saying, our people have some complaints? Your government killed thousands of their own people and the world saw that.
Listen to his answer.
I recommend you to be very vigilant and delicate for
and our colleagues have verified those images independently, Mr. Ambassador.
Of Iran. Let me finish. And so I do not want to say that we do not have any problem. No. The problem there are.
You're killing your own people. What do you mean we do not have any problem? You control that.
How to address these kind of problems according to the Iranian laws and regulations.
You killed your own
very
people.
Important. And the other,
you can pause it right there. So guess what? This we know. Trust what people are saying. Everybody else that's got opinions, we're all in a different camp. What we do know is they're willing to kill their own people. There's a group of Iranian soccer players in Australia who they had they're singing a national anthem. They refuse to sing along. Okay, Rob, can you go to that one right there? But actually, go to the other one first. So they refuse to sing along, and they're in the bus above. Okay, play the clip, Rob, if you could. They're not singing along. They're in the bus above. That's leaving Australia. People are begging for Australia to not allow them to return back to Iran. Now, watch how this one-man Iranian guy reacts to this, suggesting how the Iranian government should react to these brave women who don't stand for their government killing their own innocent people. Rob, go back to the other clip if you could.
And
right
Pat,
there, right. Watch
and
this
while you're doing it, Pat, they're doing sign language saying, help us on the bus. Don't let us go back because they know what's going to happen to them.
Watch what this man says and try to read the captions. Go forward. You punish traitors harder during war. Whoever takes one wrong step against the country during war, you have to respond to them harder. Like the story of our women's national team not singing the anthem. You have to respond harshly. This is not a symbolic act or mere protest. Not singing the anthem is the highest order of treason. Both people and officials must treat them as traitors. This is not a symbolic act. Write traitors on their foreheads and punish them severely. This is Iran. Who speaks like this in America? Pause it right there.
What, and let me ask you a question. What do you think they are going to do to those women? Because they're going to go back eventually. What do you think they're going to do to them? First of all, huge credit to them for having the freaking brave to do that, knowing what's going to happen. And by the way, you know what this reminds me of? Uday and Qusay, which Saddam Hussein's son was, he owned the national Iraq team. Pat, he'd have a dungeon in the stadium. He'd put players upside down and beat the crap under their feet if they lost games or they did something stupid. That's Saddam Hussein's kids, which were Uday and Qusay, which were absolutely nuts.
I believe it was Uday.
Would beat the hell out of them, would torture them. What are they going to do? They have to go back. They have to go back. So this is the freaking Iran that we're dealing with. And I get it. It's horrible.
Well,
it's horrible.
This is a new definition of soccer hooligans. I remember growing up. I think it was Colombia. They scored their own goal and they killed the guy that scored that boat. Yep. But this is different in Iran. Look, we just had the Olympics in America. We saw what the U.S. men's hockey team stood for. We loved it. It was incredible. They're down here celebrating at 11, and then they go to the White House. We loved it. On the flip side, we had whatever the skier, whatever his name was, basically saying, you know, I'm representing America, but I don't believe in America. What happened to him? He was shamed. Okay. Yeah, you know, do better, stand for the flag. Okay, there's the shaming. Then there's like, well, let's hold them accountable. Maybe there's some legal ramifications of quote unquote being a traitor, whatever that means. In this side of the world, with these ideological nut jobs, they will kill you.
Oh, by the way,
if you don't agree with them.
The person that said harsh punishment, you know who he was?
Who was
He's
he?
not a podcaster. He's not a regular guy. Pull up who it was, because I know people are going to say, well, who is that guy? Who cares what a guy like that would say? The guy, according to Grok, that said what he said is Mohammad Reza Shahbazi, a presenter on Iran state TV. It's their state TV, which means he's representing who? The state.
Of course.
He's the commentator threatening harsher punishment for the women's team as wartime traitors after they didn't sing the anthem. That's what they stand for. Can you imagine like Abby or Scott Jennings or Hannity or Anderson Cooper? You know what? If Colin Kaepernick didn't stand up, we should give harsher punishment. Are you out of your mind? Like, to us, if somebody said fire him, oh my God, this man is trying to. No, they're saying harsher punishment. What do you think harsher punishment? That's the guy right there, by the way. Mohammad Reza Shahbazi is an Islamic Republic of Iran broadcasting, representing who? Whatever the Iranian government wants.
His payment comes from the state. He's not going to say
Horrible
anything.
sweater.
Rob, will you go down?
But
is there a breaking story?
Can I tell you what the biggest thing is? I understand the soccer situation, Pat. There's something bigger, and it's this article here from the Wall Street Journal where it says their neighbors, the Gulf states, had a strategy of playing nice with Iran, and it failed. Do you want to get into that?
Yes.
So
yes.
The Gulf Arab states and the U.S. allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE spent the past few years betting that it was safer to be on friendly terms in hostile Iran than rather than confront it. That bet didn't work. And then it obviously goes on to basically spell out what's happened. Here's my opinion. I think the Gulf states, they recognize what's happening in their region. You know, I've talked about this before, GDP versus GDT, gross domestic product versus gross domestic terrorism. All these states are trying to say, listen, the Middle East may be the future. I saw what you said in your regime collapse, saying maybe there's one day we go back to Iran. Maybe it's the Paris, the Middle East again. I think we're a long way from that happening. But the Paris of the Middle East right now is Dubai, is the UAE. You think that they want this tension here? So it's almost like they said, no, like, well, let's let them be crazy. We don't want to deal with it. But you know what happens with crazy people? They act crazy. And Iran starts attacking everybody around them. The UAE, Kuwait, they start throwing missiles everywhere. They start attacking Saudi. Saudi wants to have regional hegemony, right? All these countries have oil. All these countries want tourism. All these countries with pragmatic Arab leaders want to have the two things that every other country wants. What's that? Peace and prosperity. Iran doesn't want peace and prosperity. So I think it's like this. They've awoken a giant in the Middle East. Everybody recognizes that Iran is the smelly kid on the playground and nobody wants to play with these people, even their own neighbors. And now they're all saying, time to take this regime out.
By the way, Vinny just sent something. Vinny, if you want to send what you just
shared. So right now, 5 Iran women's soccer players defect with help of police following Asia Cup in Australia. So 5 players, sources with direct knowledge of the event speaking anonymously due to ongoing danger faced by the squad, say that the operation occurred after Iran's final match of the Asian Women's Cup. So these girls are like, hey, listen, we know what's coming. We don't want to go back home. Can you guys please protect us? And that's what you have it right there. But mind you, there's still about, 15 to 20 still traveling, substitutions and all that stuff that are still going back at them, and they're going to have to face the fire. So,
by the way, this is common every time there's a World Cup or an Olympics. Right now in Miami, there's the World International Baseball Classic. When you live in these despotic regimes, whether it's Cuba, whether it's Iran, whether it's North Korea, wherever you end up, and you recognize, oh my God, I'm in the liberal Western world. I'm in the United States now. I'm in Australia. I don't have to wear a hijab every second of the day. I can speak my mind. They all basically are like, yo, I'm not going back. So this is not unique, but I totally understand why the women are enacting this.
Yeah, listen, respect to them. God willing, nothing happens to them, and they get the protection they deserve because they're against. Here's the facts. What we do know is the Iranian regime hates their own people, that they're willing to kill them. If, God forbid, you go on the street saying, we don't like the way you treat us, we'll kill you. Mm-hmm. That's the state. That's their state. Hannity, Anderson, Cooper saying, we need to, bring harsh punishment to the people that are going against us.
TV.
So why is anybody, Iran State
Pat,
TV?
Before we move on, I just want to get your last opinion on this. You said 81% of the Iranian people hate the regime.
Hate.
Do you think that
They would
number's
support a
changed in the
change.
last week?
Meaning less or higher?
Whether it may be. I think the hardliners, whether it's 10%, they're going to double down. They're doing this. Basically kills any dissenters. Do you think that 80 is now 90 now that they're smelling freedom? Do you think that they're seeing their country maybe burning and maybe the 80 is now closer to 70? Or that 80 is entrenched forever and it can only go higher?
I don't know. I think, listen, I think the whole concept of freedom, long-term wins. During COVID, think about the people that were talking about shut down, take the vaccine, take the vaccine. Kids shouldn't go to school, and they were supporting it. What happened? They went like this, and then all of a sudden they went like this. They're like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I'll never forget, what was her name? Sharon Osbourne. They give $900,000 to Black Lives Matter. Yeah, we shouldn't. And they're like, no, that ended up being a fraud. And in a TMZ interview, if you remember that, no, I regret giving money to Black Lives Matter. But so many people are willing to go here. And then what typically brings everybody back? Freedom and common sense. Brings everybody eventually to your side. Listen, this is too much, guys. I don't support this. Same thing's going to happen here. 51% of you who watch this podcast, and I've helped us go from a regular show with 20, 30 viewers to now, being a top 20 podcast worldwide on Spotify and on YouTube. It's a top 20, top 15, top 10 podcast. It wouldn't happen without you, but it helps our algorithms if you subscribe as well. 51% of you watch this show weekly. You regularly tune in, 51% of you, but you haven't subscribed. I would like to take that 51% to 40%. With your help, I believe we can pull it off. And if we do that, more subscribers, higher quality guests, better conversations with you. Thank you for doing that.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.